Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name's Aisha Osley, and today I'm reacting to an American woman talking about her experience in Palestine. I think it's really important to share this for the sheer fact that America are putting a lot of lies into the world when it comes to what's going on in Israel, Palestine. But this American woman actually went to Palestine and she saw it with her own eyes, and she talks about her experience, what she saw, and why she was deeply saddened about what she saw, and how she feels like she was lied to by the American government, by the media, by Americans. I think this is a really important video for us to watch.
Video.
Which one was that?
It was an argument about Israel where he was talking about why Israel deserves to exist and stuff. After being there, man, holy shit, I feel like people have no idea I didn't even know what the hell was going on until I went to Palestine and saw how crazy it was. But
what is it like? Tell me, give me your thoughts and your
So
experience.
Everyone mistakenly thinks that Hamas controls Palestine. That's not true at all. There's three different areas that were drawn up with the original partition. It's the West Bank, which is totally under military rule by Israel, and then there's the Gaza Strip, which is like the open air prison, which they bomb the shit out of like every couple of years, and Hamas controls that area. And then there's Jerusalem, which is an international city center that both Arabs and Jews live in. But the West Bank has been occupied militarily since 1967, and it's complete martial law. There's checkpoints. All political parties are illegal. You can't. Having a gun is like the least of it. You can't hold a flag. You can't belong to a political party. You literally can't do shit if you're a Palestinian. You just have to sit there and submit. And even if you share a photo of someone who was like killed by an Israeli soldier, you go to jail, and you go to jail for the amount of like months that,
What?
Yeah, based on the shares and likes of the photo, they'll penalize you more and put you in prison for longer and longer. I mean, I'll just tell you one story.
If you put a photo on social media, like you put
Of someone who
on Facebook,
died, and they'll be like, you're sharing a martyr and inciting people to like commit suicide, like on behalf of Palestinians, you go to jail, and they put them in jail. There's 99.7% conviction rate. Kids are tortured. Kids are in prison. It is absolutely insane. We went to, the first day that we were there, we went to a funeral of some guy, some farmer who was shot by Israeli forces, and we went to the funeral. It was horrible. You know, all the women are wailing and crying, and as we're leaving, the Israeli forces had set up a checkpoint right outside of this dude's house and started tear gassing and shooting rubber bullets like at people who were simply attending the funeral, just to punish people for attending the funeral. We went to another girl's house named Aya, who got shot in the vagina for peacefully protesting at some protest, and they shot 200 people that day. One guy next to her died, another guy was paralyzed. They have a policy called shoot to cripple, where they shoot guys in the dicks. Yeah. The West Bank is no joke. I thought that I was going to die several times. We were at this checkpoint going through Calandia, and there was this old man walking, like clearly drunk or something, and kind of like walking a little bit toward the checkpoint. They started shooting at him. Bullets are ricocheting off the thing. And my partner Mike, who was an invading soldier of Iraq, was just like, we're going to die. Like, they're shooting this guy. There's bullets ricocheting. It was absolutely insane. And as we go through the checkpoint, the soldier's like, hey, stay safe out there. And I was like, yeah, when you guys are arbitrarily shooting people. And the person who was driving us had just told us that a couple months prior to that, some woman, Palestinian woman, because you can't go to Jerusalem. Like, if you're Palestinian, there's like barely any Palestinians who are even allowed to go pray at the most holy site, the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem. You can't go to the beach. You're just completely constricted in a prison, and you can't travel. And he was just telling us that months before we went through this checkpoint, someone was going through the checkpoint because they got a permit to go into Jerusalem, which is like a lifetime golden ticket, like Willy Wonka. And they're walking, and she just got executed. And then,
what?
Yeah, she just got executed, and she was bleeding out at this checkpoint, and her little brother tried to help her, and they shot him too. And they're like hiding the video of this. And
Why
this is
they
just a
shoot her?
day because they f***ing hate Palestinians, and Palestinians are animals to these people. It's sick, man. It's sick. It's really, really sick, Joe. And I couldn't even get into Gaza. We were banned from going into this territory because I was told by the Israeli government that I was a propagandist and that I was like an enemy agent, and so I wasn't allowed to go into Gaza. So Gaza's hell, but the West Bank is under martial law, and everything's illegal. And
A lot of the stuff I already knew, but it's just hearing those stories, it just really affects me. And I hate to do this, I hate to cry, but it's just so awful. How can you not cry? How can you not cry when you're listening to that? I don't understand. Sometimes you hear something and it really hits you, and it really reminds you why you're doing what you're doing. I mean, when I started off doing all this activism and stuff, I was new to the issue. I'm a new Muslim. I didn't know anything about Palestine, Israel. I've been Muslim for a year now, and people have mentioned it to me before, and I knew little bits here and there where I'd done my research. But it wasn't until the recent hit in the media that I really started to learn about Palestine. So it's still quite new to me, and I know for you guys it's different because you guys who've been Muslim longer or who have known about the conflict longer, it's been going on for years for you guys. This is just something that's not new, but for me it's just so like new. So all of this stuff, it just hits me in a different way. If you don't know, I'm doing a project to help a family in Jerusalem. You can see the link in the description to donate. Please donate if you have any money. It's just something I just can't imagine. But you know what, watching these videos are good because, like I said, it refreshes your intention. It reminds you why you're doing what you're doing. When you're getting all these pictures and seeing all these things, and after a while you think, what do I do now? You go and protest, you post, you go and protest, you post. What else is there to do? You write to your MP. There are lots of different things we've been doing to try and help the Palestinians, but you get to a point where you just give up. And listening to those stories and knowing that there are brothers and sisters, and even if they were non-Muslim, I still would have cried because it's human beings. This, for the sake of Allah, keep up the activism. Keep posting, keep sharing. Keep going to protests, keep writing to your MPs. If you live in a Western country, you have a lot of responsibility. I live in the UK. I have a huge responsibility because my country is giving arms to the people who are killing our brothers and sisters. We have a huge responsibility. We cannot stop. We will not stop. We cannot stop until our people are free. There will be a solution. I always say that, my husband and I, we always say this. When we look at a situation and we feel hopeless and we feel like there's no way out, we say, look, Allah has not made this world in a way with no solutions. People are starving to death in the world right now, but that's not because Allah has not made enough food. Allah has made enough food. We just don't share it very well. Allah has made a solution. There's not going to be no solution and these people forever are going to be in danger. There is a solution. We just got to work towards it. Thank you guys for listening. I'll see you guys again very soon.